may be coming through a season where it has felt like your life has been pruning itself. Your relationships may have shifted, plans you've carried for years, they might no longer even have any resonance with you. Identities may have fallen away, and this is for you then, this reading. I really just want to offer some reassurance. I think this is what I was feeling, is that the things that have been removed from your life, it wasn't your abundance. In fact, what was removed was what stood between you and your abundance. And sometimes the greater obstacle isn't really the world around us, but it's what kind of static and noise we got going on inside. And that could be, you know, competing voices, things that we grew up with or got inherited into our behaviors, old fears still running, the parts of ourselves that learn to desperately survive, or where we're addicted to certain things that we don't even relate to anymore, you know, things that have just been part of our programming, you know. So yeah, I was seeing a lot around the things coming off that were learned by a survival mechanism to stay small, to stay quiet, to not say what you really feel, to make allowances for people based on having empathy for their situation, but just, you know, really wanting to sit in your own truth about that. And it feels like maybe you're ready to not do that anymore. Like there's a bit more fire under your booty that I'm perceiving, like not the ants in your pants kind, but the fire in your pants kind, if you know what I mean. You're really ready to stop gatekeeping your own wisdom. You're ready to stop just making things subtle when they want to be powerful, holding back, you know, when you want to just express freely. And I thank you in advance for that, for choosing that, because you are much more vital to the possibilities of the future than you may have clocked at the current moment in time. And rather than fighting with yourself, I'm seeing that you are learning to stand with yourself. So fucking A. Bravo, seriously. That is a journey in itself. To be making that choice to stand in your own convictions, but to also be willing to change those if something comes along to make you go, wow, you know what? On closer reflection, I'm letting go of that. I was so into that for a while. I so made that my bio, headline, tagline, whatever I thought that I was, that I'm not anymore. Like, nah, you know, the freedom to choose to let go is one of your superpowers. And I'm seeing that in this strength card. There's a lion in the card, and it feels like she's not like coercing or controlling that lion. He's like, yeah, I'll take a head scratch. Yeah, tell me I'm beautiful. And they're both enjoying it, and they're both totally present, you know, and he's not subdued by this control. And I feel like that's a message here too. Things are not going to come about by just obsessive, compulsively controlling. Like, what about the freedom in choosing to be out of control? You know, and this is not to negate the real human parts, because I dislike that immensely when people jump directly to just surrender. Yeah, well, I'm in the middle of working with some energies here. Biatch. Yes, I get that's the ultimate eventually, but not to bypass, you know, if you're going through a sticky part. That's very, very much included. But to recognize, where am I controlling? You know, maybe we still require that bit before we go into surrender, you know? Where have I tried to subdue my fire when actually that wands, King of Wands vibe, that passionate Queen of Wands, the fiery desire, you know, it's not something to just suppress. That's what I'm trying to say. It's something that you get to befriend, you know? And the need to say right now, there's a really, it's just, I'm laughing because it's like, you've crossed over already. Like, do you see? Let's just take a moment right now to actually see and acknowledge how freaking far you have come. And you do know that's an energy hack, right? If you go and give yourself a moment to clock your wins, it actually generates more. Like, oh, I overcame that, and I thought that was the final boss, and well, slayed that beast and let go of that schmo and tied up that loose end. Like, little pat on the back, y'all. You know, it does work wonders. Maybe that can be some of your homework. The obstacles are dissolving. Do you claim it? The obstacles are dissolving. I feel like if this message is for you, then you've probably been through some undoing of quantum entanglements around karmic relationships. Things that appear as helpful on the outside or kind and supportive are not actually. I feel like maybe some of you are really letting yourself see what the real is instead of trying to package it up in, yeah, but they're this and they're that. No, you're actually just going, F it, I'm going to see it for what it is. You know, and maybe it can become something else. But at this moment in time, check the heck in. Tune in, you know, what's real. And there may have been some protection around you that you might have created yourself or your brain might have created for protection because of some deeper traumas, maybe some stuff in your childhood. But I'm seeing this image of, there's a card in the Tao Oracle and there's a child inside of a lotus and there's this innocence to it. And it feels like the inner child component, but also where is it more safe now to come curious, to come unarmored, to, you know, find safety in that child energy again. And you know what, maybe this is part of what is another thing that is asking to be worked with at this moment in time. Because last night I found myself recording a soul wounds clearing process where entities or energies or attachments can attach themselves to places where we're still holding on to the effects of the soul wound, how that made us feel at a certain age and how we kind of like carry that through our lives with us. I'm sure you can relate. Suddenly so much noise in the neighborhood. Of course, the soul wounds with the little demons and devils attached. So I started recording that last night. I'm getting that maybe I need to put it on here because several people are reporting that they're getting psychic attacks and, you know, the presence of not so friendly entities and energies around. So if that's something that feels correct for you, you can go ahead and join that process. I will be explaining it and kind of going through it with whoever shows up for that. And then it's something that you can just like do on your own. Or if you want me to help you with that, I'm also available for that. But it really helped me. It's like a kind of self-deliverance protocol in a way. It's like you go through and you see what has been affecting me since, you know, that time when I created a thing and just created that as part of my fundamental base being, when actually it never really was mine. It was something that happened, and at that moment, it can be that where there's a weakness, there's a back door in the spirit. There's an opening that allows these lower level energies to attach themselves. And so you could find it very difficult to heal from something, or, you know, you might find you keep on working at one area, but there's this like layer cake of embedded crap, you know, around that. And it just, instead of just going, oh, you know, we are all one and I'm love and light and all of that, you actually have to go in a little bit, you know, like go into the dark and have a look who's hanging out in your lobby that's not letting you go to the penthouse. Because girl, guy, whatever you call yourself, you live in the penthouse, sweetie. This hanging around the foyer outside and your bags have been lost in transit somewhere. Like, no. We need to get you to where you're actually meant to be, you know, from the bird's eye view, the God's eye view, clarity, space, elevation, ease. That's what you get to have, you know. And sometimes these soul wounds are running shit. They're running in the background, delivering a kind of weird static that's causing delay or distraction or causing disruptions in, you know, the physical body or in our relationships. And they're running game and they don't get to stay anymore. And that was very, very strong. So if you want to do that soul wound cleansing process, just check in a couple days or just keep your eye on the feed and see if that's something that can contribute to you. Obviously, if it's not a thing and you feel like you've already cleaned up that stuff, great, amazing. Thank you for doing your work. Because each person who does this with themselves, they're doing it for the rest of us, okay? So staying in that student teacher mode, you know, I feel like that we're all in that at the moment. It's like the more that I open and wake up to things or go through these awakening processes, it's like I don't know nothing anymore. I can study this stuff and work through things and do different practices and, you know, work with different processes for decades. And it's like, wow, okay, ground zero each and every time. And, you know, I just keep coming back to the question of, okay, what's required now? You know, what is required on my soul's journey now, and how can I also contribute to other people while I go through that? Because I don't think that awareness is meant to be like isolated alone, like, aha, I got the gold nugget of awakening, woohoo, and you're just like alone in your room on an island. Hello, that's kind of my reality. So it's time to share these so that we can all, accelerate and elevate and make sense of this interesting tangle of intensities and movements that are happening in, through, and around us. You are being aligned with your destiny. That's what it feels like. Your instinct is being aligned with your destiny. You're being shown new tools and new ways to, integrate all those previously warring identities. There are new seeds of abundance coming into your world, and, you're being called into this re-meeting, let me reintroduce myself kind of vibe, as who you have already become. It's not like a future event per se. It's, can you acknowledge what you've already changed and become? The masks you've taken off, the new skin that you're grown, You've been through the micro needling of life's upgrades. And now the new collagen is causing your spiritual glow up, metaphorically. So, yeah. I'm going to leave this message here. Please take care of yourself. If this soul wound process feels correct for you, come back in a few days or tomorrow, whenever. And I really want to just say to you, you're doing a really freaking phenomenal job. That only really you know. But I see you. I see that you've actually sat with these things, and you're continuing to. And the more that you're choosing you, is like the more that your reality is changing. So I'll just leave you with that question. What would you choose today if you were choosing for you? Because that includes your work and your children and your mission and your destiny and all that. But the true, what would you choose if you were choosing for you? Even if it's just to start off with a little thing, I thank you for joining me. I thank you for bringing your energy in here. This is me powwowing with you, right? So as I start to build momentum in sharing what I'm sensing in the energy, it's like you are my mirror, So any interaction with these posts allows me to know that it's landing with someone somewhere. Because that's the point, right? Like, I'm not doing this so that I can just hear my own voice. This is for you. And whoever finds this that really needed to hear this. This is for you, So, yeah, please let me know by interacting with this post. And I will see you later. See you in the ether. Peace.